Good morning. Hey, welcome to episode 3 in our series titled How God Answers Prayers. So, little short series this week because I'm going to be out of town this weekend, but this has been a good series. Short, sweet, like I said. First day, Monday, we covered yes. God's clear answer, yes. I'm talking about Elijah's fire from heaven, Hezekiah's prayer, the apostles' prayer, so just yes. Yesterday we covered when God says no. Why he says no, why we just get a definite no. Okay? Today, we're going to cover one that's really interesting, but at the same token, we all probably hear a lot, even though it's not the answer we want. And that is wait. As a parent, when you have kids, or when you were a child, that was the one answer you couldn't stand. Was wait, or not right now, or in a little bit, later. Because as parents, and I'm guilty of it, we tend to tell that to our children and then it never happens, right? Well, God's not that way, okay? God doesn't change his mind. We said that the other day, and it's totally true. So today, I'm going to go through some scripture with you, and I'm going to show you when God says, wait. And I'm going to show you how that applies to your life. You ready? Okay, here we go. First set of scriptures in Acts chapter 9. Acts chapter 9, verse 15. Now, I'm going to set the stage. Paul is the bad guy. He's killing Christians. He's persecuting the crap out of them, just annihilating them, right? He's on his way to Damascus, and here's the Damascus experience. Light shines down from heaven. God speaks directly to Paul. Everybody else is freaked out. Paul's blinded. All this. Go read it. Acts chapter 9. It's one of those that I wish I could have experience like that so I would know exactly what I'm supposed to be doing. We all don't get that lucky, although I don't know if Paul was lucky in the long run. But in Acts 9, verse 15, God says, now he's actually speaking to Ananias, who goes and tells Paul, but God says, "Go, for Saul is my chosen instrument to take my message to the Gentiles and to kings, as well as the people of Israel, and I will show him how much he must suffer for my name's sake." So God gives Ananias Paul's mission, and Paul knows what it is now, okay? He is to go take God's message to everybody. Gentiles, that's the non-believers, right? The non-Jews. Let me rephrase that, the non-Jews. Kings, and the people of Israel. This is what Paul's supposed to do. Paul gets his mission. He jumps right in. He gets to work, okay? Jump over to Romans 15, okay? Paul's doing his thing. He's doing his thing, right? He is now in Corinth, which is the Greek city of Corinth, and he's writing this letter to Rome, to the Roman citizens. And he says in this letter, he lines out his travel plans to get to Rome. Paul always wanted to preach in Rome. Always wanted to. He's lining out his travel plans. And in verse 24 through 28, he says this, "I am planning to go to Spain, and when I do, I will stop off in Rome. And after I have enjoyed your fellowship for a little while, you can provide for my journey. But before I come, I must go to Jerusalem to take a gift to the believers there. For you see, the believers in Macedonia and Achaia have eagerly taken up an offering for the poor among the believers in Jerusalem. They were glad to do this because they feel they owe a real debt to them, since the Gentiles receive the spiritual blessing of the good news from the believers in Jerusalem. They feel the least they can do in return is to help them financially. As soon as I have delivered this money and completed this good deed of theirs, I will come see you on my way to Spain." Okay, so Paul's lining out his journey, and it's all good. I mean, this is biblical. This is scripture. He's helping people. He's preaching the good news. He's going to take a love offering from Macedonia and Achaia to Jerusalem and drop it off. I mean, this is all good stuff, right? Why would God have a problem with this? God necessarily doesn't, does he? If we go back to the book of Acts, Paul's got on his journey. He ends up getting arrested. He ends up in a prison in Caesarea. And this is where God speaks to him. Okay? And this is where I want you to key in. In Acts 23, verse 11, God speaks directly to Paul, and he says, "That night the Lord appeared to Paul and said, 'Be encouraged, Paul. Just as you have been a witness to me here in Jerusalem, excuse me, you must preach the good news in Rome as well.'" God straight up tells Paul, "I'm taking you there, just not how you thought you were going to get there. I'm taking you there. Just wait. Be patient." And this is so powerful because Paul, at this time and age, Paul was the biggest apostle. He was the biggest evangelist, if you will, in the area. I mean, he was the Christian, he was blowing it wide open, and everybody wanted to read Paul's letters and hear from him speak. God flat tells him, "Wait, you've got business here to take care of, but I will take you there." And he did take him to Rome. So I want you to learn, here's what I want you to learn about this. We can be on God's mission and still be told to wait. That's what happened to Paul. And you might say, "Pastor Burns, why? Why are we told to wait if we're on the mission, if we're fulfilling the mission, if we got no sin in our hearts, if we're asking for the right motives?" Paul had the right motives when he was going to Rome on his way to Spain. I mean, it's all there. Why are we told to wait? There's two reasons why. Okay? Number one, God uses delays to enhance our trust in Him. God will delay things so that you are required to trust and magnify your faith in Him and what He's going to do in your life. That's number one. Number two is this: God uses delays to teach us to submit to His authority and lordship over our lives. Now that one probably hits home. Do you submit to God's lordship and His authority over your life? We're fine waiting, God. I'll wait, I'll wait. You told me to do this. I'm fulfilling the mission. I'm going to wait. Okay, I'm going to sit here. I'm going to wait, and I'm going to trust you, God. But I'm going to take care of this over here. Okay, this is my thing. Like, you got all this, and this is my thing. Is that God's authority? Is that God's lordship over your life? Are you going to submit this to God? Maybe that's what He's waiting on. Don't know. So my daily drink is this today. When God tells you to wait, you better check two things. Do you fully trust Him? And is He the one and only authority and Lord over your life? Or do you still have some things you're holding on to? Y'all be blessed. I'll talk to you tomorrow.